SABC reporter Reginald Witbooi joins us now for more on the story. Reginald, let's just first start with what the reaction has been in that part of the country where you are.
Well, good evening to you, Tsepi. So I've spoken to some members of the National Khoi and San Council earlier on. I spoke to Stanley Patterson. He was telling me basically that Parliament approached the National Khoi and San Council to recommend someone for them to do the praise singing. And they recommended Bradley van Sitter and then also Paul Swartboy here in the Northern Cape. Paul Swartboy unfortunately had to withdraw. I spoke to him earlier on. I asked him why he withdrew. He was telling me he had other commitments, but the council is basically saying what Van Sitter did is to mix the dialects of the language that's been spoken in Namibia and that of the Northern Cape. So they are basically saying that the language was acceptable, and he didn't actually did a praise singing but a prayer, and he didn't usher in President Ramaphosa last night. He did it for Parliament, and he represented the Khoi and the San communities. So they are saying he spoken in a fluent manner, and it was accurate. The people that got a problem with him at this moment is the Damaranamas in Namibia, because it's their first language. And Peterson also told me that Van Sitter actually studied Nama in Namibia, and he is also a lecturer. And Van Sitter also telling us in that interview that people they are going to criticize him whether he's spoken it fluently, but he wanted to represent the Khoi and San community. But if I can just ask my colleague, we have Lami here, who is a first speaker of the Khoekhoegowab language, and he's basically saying that there is the hymn song 168 that he was reciting. Nothing in there is any reference to praise singing for Khoi or a chief. And he went on saying that an Imbongi in any culture is similar. You recite the clan names of the person concerned. There was no mention of the president's name. Things got worse when he checked his notes and started using words that sounded more like Xhosa or Zulu. And then we go to Facebook. Paul Swartboy there was approached by Parliament also to do the praise singing. He's saying that in Afrikaans in hierdie land word gebroke Engels aanvaar. So wat is verkeerd om 'n uitgestorwe inheemse taal gebroke te praat? Basically, in short, he is saying that people are not actually also speaking fluent English. Yeah. So why question an indigenous language?
So Reginald, I mean, it's a good thing to talk about, because just now you said Khoekhoegowab and I'd pronounce it differently. Do you think it's opened up a very important discussion about language, its use thereof, and perhaps understanding of the different dialects?
Oh, most definitely. It opened up the issue of language and how it should be spoken. We saw on social media that people are actually, they are very angry in the manner he spoken it in Parliament last night. But the National Khoi and San Council say it is acceptable. Many are saying that, well, we are the first language speakers, and the way he did it was not correct. And Van Sitter actually admitted that it is his third language, and he still says that the language, the way he did it in Parliament last night is acceptable.
All right, thanks a lot for that. Reginald, SABC reporter Reginald Witbooi. Let's take you back to Francis to unpack more